Hello everyone and welcome to another recording. In this lab, we're going to talk about the AI builder or some aspects of the AI builder. So the artificial intelligence builder is a new addition to Power Apps, relatively speaking, where you can do or you can leverage some of the machine learning and deep learning models into, let's say, everyday's applications that you need for business. Now, the cool thing about this and why I like it, because think about it, as a business professional, it might be very difficult for you to go and learn about deep learning, to go and learn about predictive analytics and different machine learning algorithms. So you're either going to go to hire somebody who knows about this, which most of these let's say professionals who know about these topics right now are very expensive to hire. They're in a high demand, and to acquire such a talent might be a little bit difficult. So Microsoft, through this low code no code, is giving you the power to be able to leverage these things instead of going and spending months or years learning about how to do deep learning. Like, I have currently a project in deep learning, and it took me, personally speaking, to learn how to build my project using Python about 4 months. 4 months to learn how to do it, and a couple months in trial and error till I got to the results I want. Now, yes, I was not working on it full time, because it was a research project with a healthcare provider. But on the other hand, looking at this from the angle is, well, right now you have kind of plug and play AI models that you can leverage right away to reduce the amount of, let's say, human error, to be able to let's say, digitize a lot of things, automate a lot of activities in your business processes. All right, so you can look at the models that are available, and I'm gonna just explain briefly about these. Obviously, if you want to learn more, you can look up for some resources online, or you can find a class that talks about artificial intelligence. I saw a couple of them, so the couple of good schools. Sadly speaking, we don't have such a class that teaches AI for managers or for decision makers, for more like business professionals, not trying to teach AI for a computer scientist or a data scientist. I honestly saw a couple of universities, well-known names. Quick search, you will find those courses, and hopefully, one day we will have such a class. As this topic is, I'm really passionate about it, both in my teaching interest and my current research projects. All right, so let's go right into what I'm trying to tell you here about the AI builder. You can see there is some invoice processing model that can extract information from invoices that you can use. There is an OCR for text recognition, optical character reader, so you can recognize text in photos, PDF files, and so on. Receipt processing to extract information from receipts. For identity documents, extract information from identity or IDs, like a driver license, could be employee ID, and other types of IDs. One of my favorites, business card reader. I mean, who wants to keep putting business cards in their wallets, or keep saving tens or maybe sometimes hundreds of business cards, till they need it later? So I thought about, I personally speaking, gonna build an app just so I can use it for my own self. So when I meet somebody and they give me a business card, I simply can scan it. Right now I take pictures. When somebody, like I meet somebody, give me their business card, I take literally a picture because it's easier to keep on my device rather than keeping the actual business card. And there is document processing to extract information from documents, especially if you're talking about, like, in terms of legal things, auditing, and others. Sentiment analysis. So if collecting data from your customers, maybe extracting data from, let's say, social media and stuff, into your dataverse, you can apply sentiment analysis, highly used nowadays in marketing and even finance, to kind of figure out what is the sentiment of investors about a certain company and a certain stock. Category classification, also very common nowadays. For example, if you have a product, you put it online and you get reviews from people, so, or from users, right? And or in customers that bought the product, you can classify the feedback from customers to figure out if they're, like, something positive you want to highlight in some of your ads, something negative you can work on figuring out how to enhance the products from the customer perception. All right. So you can see there are multiple helpful models. Again, very easy to invoke and put in your applications for different uses. So for example, here predictions, like you can look at prediction outcomes from historical data. So if you want to figure out, what would be the revenue for the next quarter or next month, for example, that something can be helpful. Object detection. Honestly, I can spend hours talking about this. So feel free to, go look through that and click around. You're not going to break anything. Some trial and error would definitely help. So let's do something like, a simple app, right? So the app that I told you about, that business card reader, for example, because I really want to build that and just have it for my own use. So for example, I want to do a business card reader. So whenever somebody, I meet somebody, they hand me their business card, I simply pull my cell phone, I kind of take a picture, or if I took a picture, I can simply scan that picture to pull the information, and then save it for later, right? So let's click on solution. I'm going to go to Yazan's environment, as you can see here in front of you. And then for apps, I'm just going to click create a new app because I also want to put another AI, let's say, model in our existing project, but just going to show you this for fun, But again, take a screenshot of it and make sure to submit it to show that you also did the work of this lab. All right, so new. Now I'm going to go for apps, and this time I'm not going to do model-driven app because this is a standalone app. It's called Canvas app. So you probably remember, I'm almost positive I mentioned that probably in the first recording about Power Apps, is that we have two different types of apps, or three different types. But like in terms of apps, we have Canvas app and model-driven app. And then we have pages. Talk about pages later on if we got time. So the Canvas app is more of, let's say, blank application that you can build from scratch. The model-driven, obviously, we have to have the data model built, so the tables, the relationships, and the different columns in it. Then we build the app based on that data. And I explained briefly why I think most of the apps, right, most of the apps that you're going to build should be model driven, because that model, right, the data model that capture the logic of your business process, because every table is an entity in that business process, right? So when you build this, the metaverse, right? In the metaverse, when you build those tables, those entities, or you translate those entities and business processes to tables, as I mentioned, that now we don't use entities anymore, but that was a very common terminology, or still probably common terminology when you talk to database developers and BI developers. So in your business process, you translate entities into tables, and then you describe the relationship between those entities through those relationships. So I personally speaking think that most of your project should be data driven, so should be data model driven. Now, sometimes you want, let's say, some type of flexibility, right? So you can go for a Canvas app. So there are some, case studies where you can see Canvas app. Or the usage of Canvas apps. Obviously, I saw so many people online, like YouTube recordings and stuff. When they start with Canvas apps. From my experience, I really think what is most important is to capture the logic of your business process in a data model, build the app based on that. Because the opposite sometimes can be very, very complicated and it could be impossible. So you really want to start from, let's say, back end to the front end, not from the front end to the back end. I really believe in this school of thought. When I teach, for example, Power Apps, I try to demonstrate that. When I teach in the web development, I try to demonstrate that as well. Is that you really want to think about your back end and then move toward the front end. Nonetheless, so we want to build this standalone application to scan business cards, right? So click on Canvas app, and I'm going to call this scan business or biz cards, right? And you can choose how you want the initial format. As you can see here, do you want it to be a tablet or a phone? So I'm going to just choose phone, and I'm going to just click create. All right, so welcome to Power Apps Studio. Here are a few ways to start building an app from a blank canvas. To create a form or create a gallery, I'm going to skip this for now. Awesome. So you can see here, it almost looks like a cell phone screen, right? A mobile application screen. And I want to add one of those AI models. So click on Insert, the plus sign here, or Insert here. Both give you the same result. So we're going to go to AI Builder, and you can see here we saw some of those options that I talked about earlier. So business card reader, receipt processor, form processor, object detector, text recognizer. So I just want the business card reader. Now it tells you here that this is a premium component, so anyone using an app containing this component will need an AI Builder license. Now, we are still within the trial, so you can use it. Now, if you are doing this in outside this trial at your work or your own business, then you have to take this in consideration. All right, so I'm going to make this slightly bigger. Okay. Now, this is the business card reader. What I'm going to do here is add some text label, and I will answer why I need text labels and text input. Now, I'm going to put text label just to label what is that field, and text input to import that text into, or to import the recognized, the scanned text into this text input. And I use text input because I saw some people doing it differently online, because sometimes the AI may not be perfect, so maybe you want to modify it a little bit. I'll explain in a second, right? So I'm gonna put this label, I'm gonna make it half size, maybe up to here, and then I'm gonna text input like parallel to this, and then this will make it half. Or maybe, make the text input a little bit bigger. I guess think. Let's make it bigger. All right. So now this is the label. So probably the first thing I want to pull out is first name, right? And then here in the text input, I want the card reader to pull the first name. So how can you do this? All right, quite simple. You click on this box once, and here you can see that this kind of looks familiar to you. Yeah, it looks like in Excel. So FX stands for functions. The different functions I can insert into a Canvas app. So what will be the first thing I'm thinking about? Well, if you start typing business card, right? You can see here the options. I start just typing BUS and I see business card reader number 1. That's what I want. That's the function I will use. So business card reader number 1, and you can see once I clicked on it, once I invoked it into the function bar, right? Then I can use it. Well, I know first of all that this is not just a text; it's an actual model or actual function that I can use. Now I hit dot. Right, let me just zoom out and then hit dot. And now I can have different options. You can see once I hit dot, I already see address city, address country, region, address postal code. If I go down a little bit, probably would see first name. Here it is, first name. Right? So business card reader dot first name. So I can see, as you can see here, we have first name. And then if I zoom in, you can look at the following. It says that the function business card reader with the variable first name will give me a text, data type text. That's important to understand what would the function give you back as data. So if it was a number, text, and so on. So if you're trying to push this into a table to save it for later, you make sure that the type of the data that you extract fits that type of the data in the column that you're trying to save that data in. All right. So very simple. Business card reader 1 dot first name. Hit enter. Oh, without enter maybe. That's it. Just click out and make sure that this works pretty good. Okay. Now let me try to scan something. So give me a second. I think I downloaded a business card, an example. All right. Now let's try to scan this. First, I need to hit save, and I will save whatever that name that was showing up. That's the name of the app. You have this new button that says app checker, so you can also check your app to see if there are any issues. And then the preview or the play button, you can also preview the app through hitting F5. That's the hotkey for it, or short key. All right, so I want to scan a card, so I honestly just downloaded something from the internet. And I wanted to pick something kind of like a little bit different, like not a flat. It's like how you actually hold it, right? So if I'm holding a card and I'm scanning the scan it through a mobile application, right? So it will be not like, let's say, flat. It will be or I will be holding it sideways. Yet, you can see that the AI did a good job in picking up, for example, John Smith Doe. So John Smith is the first name. Now here's why I imported the text into or the text from the image into a box, because then I will allow the user, which is me in this case, right, to modify this text if possible. So maybe I don't want to add Smith for the first name. Maybe, Smith is a middle name, so I can make this John. But you guys got the idea, right? So let's try to add a couple of other things and see how it would work. So same deal. I want to add a label. So the label again holds only the a label for the text that, or a label for something, for another object in the app. Now you can import things directly into a label. So I'll show you how. Let me do, for example, here last name, And then instead of having another text input, as you can see over here, I have text input that I've been using, or I used for the to import or to extract the first name from the image into that. So instead of, in the second option, instead of using this, I'm gonna use another label. I'm gonna show you the difference because I saw a lot of people doing it. I don't know. I don't recommend it. They'll probably have a reason for it, but I didn't fully see the point. All right, so now in this second label, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna just type BUS business card reader 1, now dot, and in the options, I'm gonna go and look, what do I have? I probably have last name here. Oh, so there's full name. You can import the full name, but let's look at last name. Right? Same thing here. You can even see that it did really pick up Doe as the last name. Right? You can see that. But the problem here, I can't edit. I can't really modify it. So I don't see the point of exporting text from an image and put it in a label. So let me go back to what I would prefer is another text input. I would do the same deal. All right, so here I would do the same BUS, and then here business card 1 dot LAST for last name. All right, looks good. Let's what else we want to, I'll try to get out of this or extract from this card as many stuff as I can. Name. So look, or the phone number, right? See the phone number here? It's kind of hard to even see. So I wonder if the AI would do a good job in picking that up. So here will be phone, right? Oops. I don't know what I did. No, not a bulletin. So just simply double click on the text label and type phone. All right. All right, and then text input. Same deal. Here I'm gonna put same thing, BUS to invoke that function dot, and then we look at phone, or you can start typing phone number. So let's see. Oh, I probably passed it without realizing. Or maybe not. Let's try to type phone. Oh, here, business phone. So you either have business phone or mobile phone. Let's try mobile phone and see what we get. See, it didn't do a good job in extracting this. Maybe it was, I need to zoom in. Let me try. Let's see. Save, play. This picture may not be that ideal. Still didn't get that this is a phone number. Okay. Well, let's try the other option then. Maybe it's not mobile phone. Let's go ahead, try business phone. Business phone. Now it pulled it out. Okay. Well, to be honest, I'm not quite sure what is the difference between business phone and mobile phone and why one of them worked or not. I, probably have to go back to the Microsoft documentation and read more about the difference. But, trial and error, and it worked out, so can't complain. Let's try about the other one. Another, let's say, address. I don't feel the space is even. Right. And then, no, not this one. Another text input. And let's put address. So business card reader and then dot ADD. So now it has address city, address country code. There's no full address. Let's see. The pull full address? I wonder. I put FUL. Here, full address. I'm just gonna use full address, but obviously you can see that you can even like divided street address, city, and so on. So it pulls the full address. See, that's pretty impressive, to be honest. I really like these models. They're pretty good. What else? So we have address. Oh, this is a label. I did it put a label. So let me put it in a text input. And do the same thing here. Nope. BUS business card reader dot put full address. All right, so now I have a full address. Obviously, if I make it bigger, maybe I have to make it 2 lines. There should be some of the properties here that you can play with it and divide it on multiple lines. So instead of single line, I can do, let's see, multi-line. Here we go. Okay. Even you have the option to make it as a password, so like it'll be kind of masked. All right. So what else can I do? So I see some social media. So I wonder if I can pick that up. Let's see. Do another inputs box, and before I put a label, let's test with that. So BUS card reader, and then dot social. Let's try fax. No. Website. So I know website is an option, and see what would this pull out. It doesn't identify anything as a website. So what are other options we have? We might start pulling more stuff out of the card. So another dot. So we have address, state, clean image, company name, company language, department, email. Oh, email address. That should be very obvious. All right, so email address. I pulled the email address. And then there you go. So this will be full or this address. And oops. Maybe we should not fill in that function box and just put it here directly as a text. Here you go. It likes this better. And they're here, email. All right, I think this is good enough. So we experimented pretty good with this. So let's see. John Doe, phone number, address, email. Maybe you can also put title, right? Marketing director. I guess that would be cool. So let's do last one. Right. Because I saw job title as one of the options. All right, folks. So to summarize what you need to do first, I just noticed that the recording was zoomed in, so maybe some parts were not clear. So you need to add the business card reader. Make sure to add the following labels as minimum, right? You can add more if you want. So to extract first name, last name, phone number, address, email, job title, and then add those text input, and make sure that you are reading, or you are extracting the information needed from the business card reader. So you can see here first name. You can see this one for last name. I can zoom in quick. Right, so business card reader one dot first name. Similar here, business card reader dot last name. Business card reader business phone. For the address, extract the full address, so business card reader dot full address. For the email, extract the email address and job title. You can explore more and add more of those text inputs, and then make sure to save your work, and then preview the app. And then you can upload a business card. Maybe what about taking a picture of your own business card and just try to see if the business card reader extract that. Like here's an example. I'm trying to upload an image of a business card, and you can see that it extracts all the fields that I'm looking for. So make sure to take a screenshot of this, put in a Word document, and submit it to Canvas. All right, so this was part 1. Now let's talk about part 2. Again, apologize, while I was doing this part, I didn't notice that OBS was zoomed into the screen, so maybe some parts were not showing properly. But if you look at this last summary I did, just follow the same steps that I did. All right, so now let's go to the solution that I created last time, or the app that I created last time. And you're going to do something quite similar. So we're going to do invoke one of those BI models in there. And you can see here, you can notice if your contacts, or click on contacts, if you click on one of those contacts, you can see summary details related, and that you can add a new contact, right? So what I'm going to try to do is I'm trying to add another tab where we can add one of those AI models to extract information, maybe from a business card, right? So let's try to do that. So going back, so the table is the contact table. I'm going to click on forms, and in forms, make sure you choose the main, right? All right, so this is the main contact. All right, so you can see here summary details, and then now I want to add another component, and the component is one column tab. All right, so here I will edit this, and I will name this scan business card. Scan biz card. All right. And now here in the AI builder, you can see there's an option here. One of the options is business card reader. So I'm going to put it in the new section, and you can see automatically, because this app is different than the Canvas app. It's based on a data model. It'll ask me for the which one I want for the table column. I'm just gonna pick um there is full name. I believe I saw it here somewhere. Nope, just first name, last name. All right, I'm just going to select here. Last name. It's all good. All right. So we don't have a column for the full name, right? So there's no point of extracting that. Let's look at the first name. We have a first name in the table. I just saw that. There you go. And for last name, I'm going to also put last name, job title. I believe I saw job title here. All right, so mobile phone number. I had a problem with mobile phone number. It says there are no table columns associated with the select table available for this property. Not quite sure why giving me this error. I tried to look. I think it's just simply a bug in the system. It just doesn't want to connect to the table. Although we have a column for that, so I'm gonna skip that. Hopefully, maybe by the time you see this recording, this bug will be solved. So for the fax number, on the other hand, it holds the fax number. So let's see, maybe there's here a fax. And then for the email address, we have multiple selections. So this is for the email. For the company name, see what options we have. I don't think we have a company name. Yeah, we'll probably do not have that. This company phone, but definitely doesn't seem that we have company name. Or I'm missing it? So I'm gonna skip that. Department, I saw a department. So here, department, here you go. For address, I mean, we don't want we don't want to pull the full address. I don't believe we have something for the full address. So I'm gonna put address street. So this will be so address street 1, right? And then for the address city, here it is. For the postal code, post office box, no, we want zip code, postal code, here it is. For country or region, states, I don't know if we have one for the state. Let's see. City, country, region, name. Doesn't look like. All right. You also can like import a cleaned image from what you have extracted. So we don't have one here in the our table, but that's also a good idea. Maybe you also want to keep an actual image. So if you're doing this like in let's say customized solution of viewers at work, maybe you want to add a column where you keep an image of the documents that you scan. All right, so I believe it looks good. So we hit done, and now, so make sure to hit save and publish. And then let me show you how this will show up in the application. All right, so let's go back. And now let's run the app and see how this would look like. Again, just double check, make sure that everything is published, and then hit play. And now contacts, I want to add a new contact. I can see this new tab, scan business card, and then I can scan cards. So I did scan the example that I did previously. And now I click on summary. You can see that it pulled a lot of the information directly into the new contact tab in the summary. I think this is a pretty cool feature. Saves you time, saves the people that work with you a lot of headache and probably time wasted, because you can simply invoke an AI model that can make data entry faster, right? Now, as we did in the last example, you can add some, let's say, input text here. You can edit that information if needed, and so on. So make sure to take a screenshot of this showing the new tab with the business card reader, and put that in a Word document. Now here I can save the contact that I just imported his information. And then when I go back to contact, I see it at the bottom here. So after you scan the card, also take a screenshot showing the new contact person. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. This is just a simple example of what you can do with some of the AI models that are provided with Power Apps.